Hopkins has often had to battle something new and won the battle. It's not only about him. There's another Ryan as well involved with the Edmonton Oilers. Who thought, look, they're starting to cheer for them. They're not here yet. Who thought Ryan Smith was coming back? Put your hand up. I wasn't sure, but he's back as well. There's such a different look to the Edmonton Oilers 2011-2012 season. And the biggest look they want to change is what they do on the ice and their results in the standings. There's lots of new faces. Here's a listen and a look at most of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, hockey fans, let's meet your 2011-2012 Edmonton Oilers. Number 4, Taylor Hall. Number 5, Ladislav Smee. The team captain, number 10, Sean Horkoff. Number 13, Cam Barker. Number 14, Jordan Eberle. Number 16, Darcy Hodachuk. Number 20, Eric Belanger. Number 23, Linus Omar. Number 24, Theo Peckham. Number 25, Andy Sutton. Number 28, Ryan Jones. Number 35, Nikolai Habibulin. Number 40, Devin Dubnyk. Number 57, Anton Lander. Number 58, Jeff Petrie. Number 77, Tom Gilbert. Number 83, Elish Hempstead. Number 91, Magnus Pajärvi. Number 93, Ryan Nugent Hopkins. And number 94, Ryan Smith. Hockey fans, not in the lineup tonight. Number 6, Ryan Whitney. Number 37, Leonard Petrell. Number 41, Taylor Chorney. Number 44, Corey Potter. Number 55, Ben Eager. Number 89, Sam Gagner. The video coordinator, Miles Fee. The goaltending coach, Frederick Chabot. The assistant coach, Steve Smith. The assistant coach, Kelly Buchberger. The associate coach, Ralph Kruger. The head coach, Tom Rennie. Please welcome the equipment and medical staff. Jeff Lang, T.D. Forrest, Chris Davey, Brad Harrison, Steve Lyons, Chris Hamilton, Ryan Williams, Simon Burnett, and Joey Moss.
Oh, yes, everybody's all smiles as the lights go out at Rexall Place. They got to turn the real lights on. Yes, there's a stall potentially in Pittsburgh's game. We'll see if that happens in the win column as they try and go 3-0 to begin their season. Don't forget, Louis DeBrusque and Kevin Quinn on the way.
Welcome back to Rexall Place, everyone, as we lift the lid on the 2011-2012 season for the Edmonton Oilers. Let's meet the starting goaltenders, brought to you as always by Tim Hortons Premium Blend Coffee. It's always 20 minutes fresh. Devin Dubnyk gets his first ever season-opening start. The 25-year-old posted a 1.60 goals against and a .947 save percentage in the preseason. At the other end, 34-year-old Brett Johnson makes his season debut. The backup to Marc-Andre Fleury won 13 games last year, including his final 4 in a row. And this is the first time the Oilers have ever opened the season against the Pittsburg Penguins. The Oilers, the last team to start the National Hockey League season for 2011-2012, take on a Pittsburgh team that looks to make a Western Canadian sweep. They beat Vancouver, they beat Calgary last night. The Oilers, Ryan Smith back in an Oiler uniform wearing his familiar number 24. He will start with Eric Belanger and Jordan Eberle. Newcomer Andy Sutton out there with Tom Gilbert. Jordan Staal now becomes the #1 center on the Pittsburgh Penguins in the absence of Evgeny Malkin and, of course, Sidney Crosby. Chris Kunitz and Tyler Kennedy are with him. Letang and Derek Engelland start on the blue line. Here's a chance now for Smith. First shot of the game rises over top of the net. Ryan Smith's last game for the Oilers, February 25th, 2007 in Minnesota.
Playing in his 771st game as an Edmonton Oiler. He had a little extra excitement on that slap shot there down the wing.
John Horkoff with it now, moves it towards the goal, a slow rolling shot. And now it's picked up by Cook. He'll bounce it off the boards, looking for Joe Vitale, who's out there with Pascal Dupuis. Bringing it in is Paul Martin. Martin trying to make a move around the defenseman, and that is Petrie. And it goes right to Devin Dubnyk, and he makes the save. First shot of the game, it's kind of fitting. It's number 94.
Yeah, well, Ryan Smith is excited to be back in an Oiler uniform. He's always been an Oiler, even though he left for a couple of years. But here he gets the puck, turns it over in the offensive zone, the wobbly one. This one gets away from him, but he had a little extra steam on this shot in his first game. You could tell when he came out, an emotional greeting back by the fans here in Edmonton. He wanted to give him something to cheer about early.
3 points in the preseason on 3 games played. Dupuis gives it to Joe Vitale. Vitale stops. His shot is blocked before he could get through. And there is Linus Ullmark to get it out. Ullmark, PRB, and the captain, Sean Horkoff. And Ryan Nugent Hopkins hops over the boards. His first National Hockey League regular season shift, Louis.
Great to see him out there. All the questions about Ryan Nugent Hopkins and would he be ready to step into the National Hockey League. Had a terrific preseason and has earned his spot here in the opening night roster for the Oilers.
Weren't sure if Ladislav Schmid would be in the opening night roster, but there he is, number 5 with Theo Peckham. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by Ford. Ford, drive one.
Well, for the Pittsburgh Penguins coming in here in their 3rd game in 4 nights, it's get pucks deep, very important. Dan Bylsma told us before the game to establish that forecheck early. That's where they excel and how they've won their last 2 games. For the Oilers, use this emotion. Home opener, stacked crowd in here at Rexall Place. Use it to their benefit, not their demise.
Devin Dubnyk stopped the shot off the stick of Chris Letang, and he'll hang on to it.
Well, Devin Dubnyk comes in here looking like the backup from last year, but had a terrific preseason. And for Tom Renney right now, he wants to go with a hot hand. He wants to go and give players the opportunity that earn that role. Nikolai Habibulin came in, had a good camp as well, but they felt Devin Dubnyk earned the right to start the season this year for Edmonton.
He makes another save. Engelland is shot from the point. Engelland keeps it in for the Penguins. There's Tom Gilbert. Checked by Steve Sullivan, a newcomer to the Pittsburgh Penguins. As Taylor Hall starts away. Hall for Hopkins. Went over his stick. Engelland checking him, and it gets by Andy Sutton and all the way down to Devin Dubnyk. That will allow both teams to change up. The Oilers are going to head to Minnesota for a game on Thursday. They'll play Vancouver here on Saturday. The Penguins are going to go home Coach Bilesma telling us this morning they won't get home until 6 a.m. Take a look at the team lineups brought to you by Boston Pizza.
Yeah, and for Dan Bilesma, already some shuffling going on here. Evgeny Malkin, who had reconstructive knee surgery last year, took a puck off the ankle and will not play. Now, he's obviously not in the game, so for him, he's shuffling in. Steve McIntyre gets into the lineup. Aaron Ashram goes out for him. And also, Richard Park steps into the lineup on that top line for Malkin. So some changes there. For Edmonton, their first game, shuffling of lines, trying to figure things out. Tom Rennie is. And there's an early penalty here for too many men. There's going to be some of that confusion here on the Oilers bench with lines going over, trying to make that quick matchup change. It costs them there. Pittsburgh goes into power play for the first time.
Penalty killers for the Oilers go to work for the first time against a power play that is 4 for 8 in the 2 victories against Vancouver and against Calgary. They were 2 for 5 last night. Shot stopped by Dubnyk off the stick of Kennedy. Kennedy to Neal. Neal snaps a shot, and there is Devin Dubnyk standing tall with Chris Kunitz right in his face. Neal tries to get another shot away. Now it comes back to the point. Steve Sullivan forward on the point with Chris Letang. Letang feeds it over to Sullivan on the near side. He'll give it right back to Letang. One-time shot finds its way into the back of the net. A power play goal for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it's 1-0.
Well, you can see the urgency on this power play by Pittsburgh. One of the benefits that they have with so many skilled players, quick puck movement, quick body movement. They swarm the puck and get it back. And a cross pass almost gets picked off there high in the slot, but it doesn't right here. You'll see this pass go through. Bang! Almost gets picked off because it doesn't. A little out of positioning. And the one-timer by Letang gets through traffic and handcuffs Devin Dubnyk. So terrific recovery by Pittsburgh after that pass. They get it back to the shooting lane, to the net quickly, and they take an early 1-0 lead. The power play has been red hot at over 50% this year in the 3 games that Pittsburgh has played.
Letang gets his first goal of the season, now has 4 points. And as Louis mentioned, the power play hot for the Penguins, 5 for 9 now. And remember, last year they were 25th in the league. A lot to do with the guys that weren't in the lineup for them.
The Penguins goal scored on the power play by Letang.
Here's Petrie behind the net trying to tie up Park. Richard Park making his season debut. Adams snaps a shot. Devin Dubnyk the save. The rebound goes to the corner. Park looking for it with Stahl. Jordan Stahl helps him out. Picks up the puck on the far side. He is being watched now by Cam Barker. Jordan Stahl loses it, but Adams carries on. A shot from a sharp angle goes in behind the net. Ryan Smith trying to get it out, can't do it. Jordan Stahl able to keep it in briefly, and there is Belanger to get it out. Shot now 7-1 in favor of the Penguins. The only shot for the Oilers taken by Ryan Smith. Pascal Dupuis, his shot goes wide. Ales Hemsky picks it up. Cross-ice pass, and there activated is Gilbert. Gets it back to Hall. Taylor Hall moving in, trying to center the pass. The puck rolls to Brent Johnson, and he hangs on and gets the whistle.
Well, another look at that goal by Chris Letang from the blue line. You'll notice Chris Kunitz in front. Great job to kind of distract Dubnyk just enough, making it look like he was going to deflect this puck up. Therefore, Dubnyk is not playing the low shot as hard. He's waiting for it to come up, gets through him, and squeaks through over the line. So great presence in front by Kunitz there on that power play.
Sullivan and Kennedy pick up the helpers. So for Sullivan, his first point in a Pittsburgh uniform. Pascal Dupuis makes his way across the blue line. Pass looking for Cook, intercepted. Hopkins stripped by Dupuis to the corner for Cook, who had 2 goals in the victory over the Vancouver Canucks on opening night for them. A power play goal and a shorthanded goal. Ryan Nugent Hopkins under pressure now from Joe Vitale, and look, 93 draws a penalty. The Oilers are going on the power play as Joe Vitale has been called for the hold.
Get your game on with Sports Select.
Great work by Ryan Nugent Hopkins down low to draw this penalty on Vitale as he keeps his feet moving in the defensive zone, picks the puck down low, 2 hard strides right there. The stick gets in a little deep of Vitale, and as a result, he'll head to the box for 2. So the youngster making an impression early, and the Oilers will get their first power play of the game.
4:58 the time of the penalty. Ryan Smith, Jordan Eberle, Linus Omar start up front. Magnus Piarvi and Cam Barker are the blue liners. The first unit power play for the Oilers, says Barker. Weaves his way across the blue line, but Ryan Smith was offside.
And this is one of the areas for Ryan Smith coming back to Edmonton that he excels at. And everybody knows how efficient he is and relentless in front of the net on the power play and 5-on-5. That's where he's been a star, is being in front of the net, creating a distraction, a Thomas Holmstrom with maybe a little more skill, Ryan Smith. But he's made his whole career from going to those tough areas, and will definitely help the Edmonton power play this year.
And this is something we saw the last time Ryan was here, him at center. So he is centering that line. When you're a veteran, you got to do it all, Lou.
They're going to rely on the veterans a lot here in Edmonton, and this young core of players they have here to really step up and be those leaders, and that's one of the big reasons they went out and got the likes of Ryan Smith.
Pittsburg Penguins, for the first time in their team history, led the league in penalty killing last year at 86.1. They are perfect so far this season. 6 for 6. Here's an opportunity for Hall. Hall shot stopped by Johnson. Taylor Hall, 3 goals in the preseason. Has the puck now. Hall, with some speed, gets away from Adams. Skates by Stahl, centering pass for Nugent Hopkins. Kempsky on the far side, checked by Adams. Hopkins got it. He gets a bump by Niskanen. Right on in front for Hall! A great opportunity for Taylor Hall. He's had 2 on this power play. 48 seconds left in it. Kempsky, cross-ice speed with a chance for Gilbert! And a quick glove hand by Brent Johnson.
We're getting a real taste here of Ryan Nugent Hopkins' skill and why he was chosen first overall in last year's draft. A perfect pass from the half wall, the second play to the first one, a little give and go down low. The puck is entered quickly. A cross-seam pass here to Taylor Hall. This is the chance before. But then afterwards, they go to work down low. Real nice passing play to get across to Gilbert. Johnson makes the wise decision and snatches that one up to hold on to it. But having both Hemsky and Ryan Nugent Hopkins on the power play together, whatever side it goes to, each of them respectively can set it up on the half wall. That's where they're most efficient on the power play.
3 shots on this power play so far, 3 quality chances. Johnson stops it in behind the net. Almost ran into a little bit of trouble there. Dupuis got it now, and he will send it the length of the ice. Chasing back Tom Gilbert. As Korkov hops over the boards with Linus Omar. Korkov. Hall calls for the puck and gets it. Hall wide on McCulloch around the boards for Gilbert. Gets it right back again. Time winding down as Gilbert lets the shot go, and there is Johnson with the glove save, and he'll hang on to it. The penalty is over. Tell us Oilers hockey here on Sportsnet.
Couple of number 1 sitting on the bench together discussing that last shift, and really nice to see the chemistry that has developed early between both Taylor Hall and Ryan Nugent Hopkins. And playing with Alex Hemsky, there's a ton of skill on that line for Edmonton.
Korkov with PRV and Omar up front now against Jordan Stahl's line. Kunitz and Kennedy are his wingers. Derek England pushes it to the corner. Linus Omar going after it, pushed off the puck by Letang. Letang is then checked by PRV. Back to PRV. Looks for the wraparound. He was stopped, but relentless on the puck, able to keep it in for Omar. Omar to the corner with England on him. Korkov in to help, knocked down Derek England. Stahl moves it ahead, but the Oilers, this line doing a great job of keeping the puck in. Korkov from the corner. Back to the point it goes. Ladislav Schmid shot. And that is blocked by Chris Kunitz. But Schmid able to get it back.
A much better shift there by that line, though, of Korkov, Omar, and PRV. Get the puck deep, work it down low. The Oilers haven't been able to do that too many times in this game. You can see the speed and transition of Pittsburgh. Pucks are deep every time, and they're great off the cycle. If Edmonton can counter that a little bit with their own cycling down low, you saw it there, they can create some opportunities and buy some time in the right zone.
The 4th line out there now, an opportunity to see 2 newcomers along with Ryan Jones. It's Anton Lander and Darcy Hordichuk. Jones to Lander. Lander given a bump there by Ben Lovejoy. Fights him off. Lovejoy knocked down Lander. And another power play coming up for the Oilers.
Good to be back and to tell you that it's time to play Safeway's $1 Million Score and Win. If any Oilers player scores 5 goals in tonight's game, Ruth McGillis of Grand Prairie could win $1 million. Shop and swipe at Safeway. You could be our next lucky winner right here on Sportsnet.
Anton Lander is going to draw a penalty here on the cross check from Lovejoy. Great work down low once again. A good follow-up shift for this line to get the puck down low and cycle. He takes a cross check hard. And Lovejoy will head to the box for 2. Anton Lander, a terrific training camp. Kevin coming in here, played the last 4 years over in Sweden, was a teammate for 3 of those years with Magnus P.R.V. And he came in on a mission this year in training camp to make this team, and he has.
The numbers spoke for themselves. 2 goals, 2 assists in 4 preseason games.
And what they love about him is his compete level. He just has that desire to win every battle in every area of the ice, not only good offensively, but excels defensively. A good fit on that 4th line of the center position.
Everly, Smith, and Omar up front. Barker and PRV are on the point for the second power play in this period for the Oilers. They generated 3 shots the last time they had the man advantage. Everly will give it to Omar. Back to Barker at the point. Cam Barker looks for Omar. Ryan Smith, where else? He's parked himself in front of the net. Now he'll drift to the side. Omar lost the handle, and that allowed Matt Cook to send it out.
Excellent little shove there by Cook on Omar after he gets back up. Just a little bobble of the puck there by Omar to allow Cook to put that down the ice.
The RV back to the point. Omar throws it towards the net. Smith around to the near side. Stahl checks Everly, but Everly gets the puck to Ryan Smith. Smith trying to get away from McCullough. Gets it to Everly. Everly behind the back pass to PRV in front. Adams was there. And the veteran able to get it down the ice. And Barker back to pick it up. 45 seconds left to go on the penalty to bench. Lovejoy as Adams centers it right out in front. It's picked up now by Stahl. Stahl trying to make a move, can't do it. Adams can't keep it in. Letang, though, will play it back to Matt Niskanen. Niskanen takes his time and then fires it down the ice. Tom Gilbert. Down the boards it goes for Jeff Petrie. Quickly out for Alex Hemsky in full flight. Dishes off for Hall. Back to Hemsky. He's given a bump. Stahl picks it up. To the near side. Good job by Gilbert to keep it in for Hall. Hall back to Gilbert at the point. And that was a bouncing puck that got over the stick of Tom Gilbert. Alex Hemsky with Hall. Here is Hemsky. Shot from a sharp angle. Stopped by Johnson. Looks behind him. Now another opportunity right out in front for the kid. And Johnson makes another save. Now the shots are even at 7 apiece. We'll be back to Rexall right after this.
9 shutouts with the Oilers.
Ryan Nugent Hopkins out there with Hall and Hemsky. Ryan Nugent Hopkins coming close to getting his first National Hockey League goal. And Louis, you're talking about his passing ability that really makes him special.
It's what sets him apart, his vision and the ability to process as quickly as he does. It's on his stick, off his stick, and it's to the desired target, typically through traffic. And we saw a little taste of it there, and that sweet little feed into the middle, and then he had a great chance to score afterwards. But the vision that he plays the ice with and how he finds open people is what is making most of the Oilers players want to play with this youngster, because he just seems to find people open.
Oilers able to make a change. Everly. He gets flattened there by Letang, but Hall carries on. He knocks down Letestu, gets the puck back again. Now to Sutton snapping a shot, and Johnson makes the save.
Well, as we mentioned, another nice, sweet pass from Ryan Nugent Hopkins, and he's really starting to feel, and this is one of the things you love about an 18-year-old coming. Nice little dish through traffic, follows it up to get to an area and has a terrific chance. Buys his time, looks for a hole, tries to sneak it through under the arm of Johnson. Right here, look at these hands. Quick little pass right on the tape, creates another solid opportunity for Edmonton. So the skill set of Ryan Nugent Hopkins coming out early in his first game in the National Hockey League.
Everly out now with Belanger and Smith. And Ladislav Schmid, boy, it was touch and go. He said he was ready to play, but he didn't get the final go-ahead until just before the opener.
And it would have been a real letdown for Ladislav Schmid, who's battled injuries the last couple of years, has worked very hard in the offseason to get himself in great shape to come in and try and have a real solid season. So nice for Edmonton and Edmonton fans to see number 5 in the lineup.
Chris Kunitz with it now. He's got Kennedy out in front. Kennedy waits, shot stopped by Devin Dubnyk. His biggest save of the period.
Yeah, that was a 3-on-1 that developed off that face-off, and this is something we talked to Dan Bilesma about. They have over 20 set plays off face-offs in every situation, every dot on the ice. They know exactly where everyone's going, and if you watch this, everyone goes on a mission to their desired spot. A 3-on-1 develops and get a great scoring chance there. Devin Dubnyk with his biggest save of the game. to keep it only a 1-0 lead. And for Dan Bilesma, he says he wants to be unpredictable to the opponent, but predictable to his team, and it paid off there. As you can see, that was a set play for them off the faceoff.
John Horkoff wins the draw. Omar bounces it towards Johnson. Lovejoy, quick pass for Dupuis. Dupuis to Stahl. With Steve McIntyre, number 33, makes his presence felt. The former Oiler collides with Jeff Petrie. Magnus Piarvi now going wide. He gets knocked down into the boards. Lovejoy took him down. The puck loose, and Matt Niskanen has it now. Niskanen plays it off the boards. Trying to get it out, can't do it. He'll get another opportunity and will get it out to center. But he did it with a glove pass.
The fans here in Edmonton know all about Steve McIntyre, the Mac attack. Arguably the toughest guy in the National Hockey League, and he signed with Pittsburgh in the offseason. He's had a terrific camp, he told me this morning, and really likes the organization and how they're treating him, getting his first taste of action here in the third game for Pittsburgh against his old team Edmonton. And I guess you don't have to tell the Oilers to keep their head up when big number 33 is on the ice.
60 games played in an Oiler uniform over the course of 3 years. 6'5", 250 pounds. 7:46 to go here in the first period. The Pens have a 1-0 lead. The shots are even at 8 apiece.
And it was a real stabilization for the Oilers here as Pittsburgh really came out. We're taking it to Edmonton, 7-1 in shots, scored on their first power play. But Edmonton has kind of creeped back into this one and settled in here. A lot of emotion in a home opener. You have 7 new bodies for the Oilers that are in this opening night lineup for them. So a little adjustment period there, but they seem to have kind of stabilized and now a little more back and forth for both sides.
Lander, Sutton, Hordichuk, 3 of those guys we were talking about out there now.
I'll tell you, a good let up there by Hordichuk too. That was a guy that he had in the tracks to hit, but at the same time he was turning away from him, so he did not finish his check. And a good smart play by number 16 Hordichuk not to finish through with that check.
Ryan Jones, 18 goals last year. Pretty nice to have a guy on the fourth line with 18 goals.
Yeah, no question. He did it the right way for him. He came in, he played all throughout the lineup column. Didn't get a whole lot of power play time early. He scored some shorthanded goals. He was really effective in any capacity Ryan Jones was that Tom Rennie wanted to put him into. And they expect a lot of the same from him this year.
Letestu looks for Neal, intercepted by Theo Peckham, and Peckham quickly gets it up for Taylor Hall. Hall going one-on-one against England, tried to make the move, and England won that battle and then paid the price as Hall came back with a nice hit. Those two continue to jaw.
Well, Derek Engelland, the Edmonton native, giving Taylor Hall a little bit of a ride afterwards. It was Taylor Hall that initiates the hit on Engelland after he tries to go through. Great play by the defender to get in that lane, not to let Hall get through, and then a little rough stuff afterwards, a little shot saying, hey, I'm willing to do this. 13 fights last year for England, and he was one of the tougher guys in the league, so not afraid to get busy in that department as well.
Hamsky getting worked over there by Letestu. Hamsky still has it, then he gets knocked down, and this time it's going to cost Letestu 2 minutes in the box for cross-checking.
Ready to sell? RE/MAX agents have the experience to get the job done in today's market. Visit remax.ca today.
Well, a couple real undisciplined penalties here, Kevin, by the Pittsburgh Penguins. Cross-checks from behind and just in the defensive zone. It's Hemsky here that gets cross-checked as he has the puck from behind. Letestu will go to the box for 2 minutes. And then afterwards, Taylor Hall having some words as well as the Elk Point native of Alberta. Mark Letestu not too happy with sitting in the box, but Edmonton goes back on the power play.
It is their third power play. They have generated 4 shots with 2-man advantages. Ryan Smith again at center, wins the draw. Shot by Barker. Johnson made the save, could not control the rebound. And Jordan Stahl able to send it down the ice. And this, I guess, Louis, speaks to the depth when we talk about now the #1 center, Jordan Stahl, is out there killing penalties. Opportunity for Everly, hopped over his stick. Everly behind the net, being watched by Paul Martin. Puck squirts free, and it's sent down the ice by Zbigniew McCulloch.
For Jordan Stahl, though he's scored over 20 goals 3 times already in his short career, he is really essentially a better shutdown guy. He has that big body, and he's a terrific penalty killer. He's a perfect third-line centerman if there ever was one when you're playing behind the likes of Crosby and Malkin. But as this role right now is developed, he's going to have to step up his game and play a little bit more, which he's totally capable of doing. So some of the depth that Dan Bilesma has at his disposal in putting Jordan Staal into a different situation.
Speaking of depth, Ryan Nugent Hopkins, Ales Hemsky, and Taylor Hall out there now. Hemsky on the fly. Here comes Ales Hemsky! Oh, what an opportunity for number 83. Back to Gilbert at the point. Hemsky, nice move around Dupuis. Hemsky with it again, and it just went off his handle. The handle, but he drew a penalty. 6 attackers out there now. Gilbert. Smith hops over the boards. Empty net for the Oilers. Petrie takes the shot right on. He wants to get a whistle and does. So 5-on-3 now for the next 31 seconds.
Well, just some terrific opportunities here on the power play. And again, some great passing between Ryan Nugent Hopkins and Ales Hemsky as he sends him in alone, finds him in the slot once again. And this is the penalty here as he digs in the stick. So a 5-on-3 will develop here as Pascal Dupuis goes to the box for 2 minutes, so 31 seconds, Kevin. But it's amazing. Already you're seeing that chemistry starting to flash. The youngster Hopkins is feeling pretty comfortable in his first game. And Ales Hemsky, good to see him back for Edmonton fans as well. It's like having a few new bodies in the lineup. Him, Horkoff, both out with long injuries last year, injected back into the starting roster.
Smith will take the draw against Staal with Eberle and Omar. Back to the point it goes. Petrie and Barker switch spots. Barker down low. From Eberle, gets it right back again. Gives it back to him. They play catch. Here's Eberle taking a look. Eberle, one-timer from Barker. Stopped by Johnson. He'll hang on with Ryan Smith right on the doorstep.
A real nice presence there by Pittsburgh. Only 3 men on 5. And just staying in the passing lane, not allowing Jordan Eberle to get that cross-seam pass. You can tell he wants to try and put this down to Omar on the back wall, but he just can't find that seam to get it through. So good coverage by Pittsburgh to stay in their lanes, take it away. Barker gets the shot through. And guess who? Ryan Smith standing in front. Creates a good screen. One of the benefits of being 6'3" for Brent Johnson, he's able to still find that puck and make the save.
Smith, great job in the circle, wins it from Adams. Barker hammers a shot that goes over top of the net. Eberle for Omar. Omar back up top. Barker waiting for it. 5 seconds in the penalty to Letestu. Omar with it now. Omar being watched by Martin. One penalty is over. Mark Letestu is back on the ice as Eberle has the puck. He'll play it back to the point. Petrie. Barker. Omar for Smith, screening Brent Johnson in front. Smith to Omar. Omar back to the point for Barker. Barker will give it to Omar. Omar walks down. Omar tries to feed it back to Barker, but was stopped by Letestu. Omar knocked down. Gets the puck back to Barker. Here's Petrie, cross ice for Omar. Quick snap pass for Eberle, and he just failed to pull the trigger. Omar, another shot. Here's Petrie with a shot, and Johnson makes the save, and he'll hang on. Jordan Eberle, a great opportunity to tie this game at 1.
And just 2 terrific passes through the seam. A one-touch by Petrie down to Omar. He rifles it across to Jordan Eberle, and he just can't get a handle on it as it comes through. But the rebound comes right out after Omar just throws it into that traffic area. A big rebound, and great job by Johnson to stay with that puck, follow it out to Petrie's stick, and make the save. But some good action on the power play there by the Edmonton Oilers.
Power play that has 40 seconds left in it. That's so long. Pascal Dupuis is in the penalty box. Letang throws it towards the net, takes a hit from Hall. As Ryan Nugent Hopkins feeds Hemsky. Hemsky goes cross ice for PRB, but it's offside at the Penguins line.
And as we mentioned, Kevin, nice to see Ales Hemsky back in the lineup. Only 69 games played in the last 2 years. Did play 47 last year before suffering an injury once again. And he's been the go-to guy here in Edmonton for a number of years and wants to have a full, healthy season. I believe if he can do that, he will be at least a point-per-game guy, maybe even more. He's an unrestricted free agent at the end of this year, so it'll be interesting to see what develops with Ales Hemsky and his play over the course of the season, to see what they want to do with him, re-sign him or maybe try and move him on. That remains to be seen, but he's happy to be healthy back in the lineup to start the season.
47 games, as you mentioned, led the team in assists with 28. And would have projected a full season to a 73 points. Penalty penalties are over. Teams at even strength as Horkoff brings it in. Band on the shot. Back the other way comes Chris Kunitz. Kunitz, Joe Vitale trying to squeeze his way by Jeff Petrie, and a penalty on the way. And Petrie has been tabbed for interference. Penguins power play when we come back.
Wait on February 27, 2007 comes to an end October 6, actually October 9, 2011.
They only change a number on the front now.
2 minutes for interference.
The second power play for the Penguins. Gene mentioned that Chris Letang has the only goal. He's right there now. Schmid and Kunitz come together. Kennedy back to the point it goes. Neal waiting for it. James Neal. Tyler Kennedy. He's got Kunitz in front. Schmid with a hit on Neal. Kennedy cross ice for Sullivan. Sullivan around Jones trying to get a shot away. Can't do it. And then it's cleared the length of the ice by Anton Lander. Kunitz flips it in. Andy Sutton will send it around the boards, trying to get it by Sullivan. Sullivan able to keep it in. Sutton's got possession again. He'll play it on the far side. The Army going after it, gets there first, and that allows Tom Gilbert to send it down the ice. Horkoff, Smith paired together on this penalty kill, along with Sutton and Gilbert. 52 seconds left to go in the man advantage. Chris Letang will start out. Letang, hopeful pass for Cook, didn't work. Gilbert will touch it, and that's going to be icing.
Nice job by Tom Gilbert to win that race and get the icing on this penalty kill. A little more pressure being put on, and we talked to Tom Bernie this morning about Tom Gilbert and the fact that he's going to have to elevate his minutes again once with Ryan Whitney being out of the lineup still with that ankle injury. And you know, for Tom Gilbert, he has the capability of playing up around 30 minutes. You'd think the better number is usually in the low 20s for him. He's going to have to be that guy at the start again for the Edmonton Oilers.
Grant Johnson has seen enough with Eric Belanger and Ryan Smith doing a great job on the penalty kill. You talked about Tom Gilbert, 24.5 minutes on average last year, and he also led the team in blocked shots.
Yeah, those are hard minutes. He penalty kills. He was on the power play, goes up against the top lines of the opposition, and his body was really taking its wear and tear on him. At the end of the year, he finally had to break his stretch of games played and miss a couple of games, but he did make it back for the final game in Colorado. So he is a tough customer. You love his heart, but you kind of also want to see him kind of get alleviated of those minutes a little bit. Ryan Whitney is the guy that will do that. They've added Andy Sutton this year on the defense square as well, and Cam Barker, so they should fill some of that void too and make it a more deeper blue line for the Oilers.
Niskanen shot broke the stick of Belanger. He's got a new cue. 34 seconds to go. There's Belanger trying to stop Letang or Letescu, and it was Devin Dubnyk that made the save.
And that was a great play by Letescu, the Elk Point native. I love that name, Elk Point, Alberta. I'm sure he has a lot of friends and family here to watch the game, but he stays with this puck, and this puck bobbles on him, but he takes it, gets the shot through as he keeps his stick down into the shooting lane and then follows it through. This puck drops down. He'll have a second effort at it right there. But Devin Dubnyk wisely puts that paddle down and doesn't allow him to get the shot through. One of the great things about the Pittsburgh Penguins is they hound the puck. They're relentless. Those loose pucks that are bouncing around, good teams come up with them more often than not. And you saw it there. They created a good opportunity at what looked to be nothing.
Puck was not dropped fairly. The Oilers on their penalty kill also have two great options now. Taking some of the load off Sean Horkoff is Eric Belanger. Horkoff out there now. The draw won by the Penguins when it comes out to center with 25 seconds left to go in the period.
Eric Belanger, next teammate of mine, is the consummate professional. He's great in the face-off circle, can elevate, go up and down the lineup. So a great addition and acquisition by the Edmonton Oilers, and he will help out the captain, Sean Horkoff, in the face-off department, an area they really struggled in last year, but such an important part of the game.
Jones, Smith, Horkoff in the dying seconds of this period. And that will do it. The Oilers outshoot the Penguins 13-9, but trail 1-0. Let's join Jeff Merrick right now on the Hockey Central panel.
Rob, here's Lou and Kevin once again.
All right, Gene, thanks very much as we get set for the start of the second period. Ryan Nugent Hopkins, the guys we're talking about, Lou, 6 minutes and 34 seconds of ice time. And he got one shot away. We talked about that shot, and he had a great chance to get a goal. What did you think of his first period in the regular season of the National Hockey League?
Oh, I agree with Rob Brown's assessment. Again, he scored 49 goals back with the Pittsburgh Penguins in his day, so he knows skilled players. And for Ryan Nugent Hopkins, he's a thinker, and it was amazing to me how easy he makes it look by those little tiny subtle passes that he makes. He's not phased right now, which is that quiet belief in himself that he has. So he's adjusted well and playing pretty solid in his first 20 minutes in the National Hockey League.
And the other Ryan did a pretty good job in the faceoff dot. Ryan Smith on the power play was 4 and 2.
Yeah, one of the anomalies there was Jordan Staal, 1 and 7 in the faceoff dot. So one of the things that Edmonton definitely wanted to get better at was the faceoffs, and dominated in that first period throughout.
Neal, Letestu, and Sullivan are the starting 3 for the Pittsburgh Penguins to start this period. Remember that Letestu is taking the spot of Evgeny Malkin as Tom Gilbert plays it off the glass, and Magnus Piarvi gets it up for the captain just off the end of his stick. It's the 2 Swedes and the captain. And I wonder if Sean Horkoff's going to have to learn a little Swedish.
Yeah, well, he did play over there in the lockout year, so he got a little taste of it, so maybe he did learn a little bit when he was there to be able to communicate on the ice.
Kennedy hammers a shot that Devan Dubnyk gets a piece of, and it deflects up into the netting.
Tyler Kennedy is one of those little spark plugs that does a little bit of everything for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Had a real solid year last year and kind of broke out in his own right, and he can play on any line combination you put him on. Dan Bylsma loves him because of his energy that he brings to the table and his work in the corners, and he seems to always be that Johnny on the spot. He's a character in the dressing room as well.
Loaded shot is stopped by Devan Dubnyk. Kennedy with the puck now. Kennedy trying to get around Belanger. Kennedy rewarded with a 2-year, $4 million contract. 21 goals, as Louis mentioned, last year. Martin off the boards. There is Kennedy. McCulloch will backhand it in. Dubnyk's going to leave it there for Jeff Petrie. Petrie around the boards, intercepted by Kennedy in front for Kunitz off his skate. And it's picked up by Belanger. Belanger also 4 and 2 in the dot. That's not a big surprise.
One of the reasons why they picked up Eric Belanger, because of his face-off abilities, and a little bit of a mishap here as Eberle tries to get it through, but it goes right into the player bench. Everyone lunges back trying not to touch it, but it'll be whistled down there. Gets ridden out pretty hard by Jordan Staal, a big body. It's one of the things that makes Jordan Eberle effective is his slinkiness. He can just kind of weasel it out of tight spaces. Has the knack for that.
Well, with Vitali and Dupuis right on the doorstep, Devan Dubnyk decides to hang on to that puck.
A little bit of a slower start here. The first period was a little feel-out session. Pittsburgh really putting the gas on early, and then Edmonton responding well in the latter half of that first period. In the second period here, a little bit more of a feel-out session once again as both teams trying to get their legs going underneath it for the middle 20.
Hopkins, Empty, and Hall against the third line for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Vitali, Cook, and Dupuis. Hemsky, outlet for Hall. Stumbles just a bit, gets it right back again, then gets knocked down by Ben Lovejoy. Lovejoy given a bump there by Nugent Hopkins. The puck underneath Hall. It squirts free. Hemsky back to the point. Theo Peckham hammers a shot. Johnson the save. Vitali plays it off the boards. Peckham trying to keep it in. But that puck was bouncing. Vitali brings it right back in. He's got Cook with him. Cook gets knocked down. Vitali wrist shot. That one goes wide. Hemsky pushes it ahead for Hall. Hall stopped by Dupuis, and Park comes back the other way. Richard Park playing his first game of the season for the Oilers, or for the Pittsburgh Penguins, as is number 33, Steve McIntyre. Those two out there with the veteran Craig Adams. Adams on the intercept, gets hauled down, and Ryan Nugent Hopkins is going to go into the books. It'll be his first penalty.
Well, you know what they say, you try and get on the score sheet anyway, but obviously he doesn't want to get on. There's a great defensive play here, and you talk about size, and that was one of the knocks on Ryan Nugent Hopkins, that he wasn't big enough, but speed and skill make up for a lot as he picks the puck there. Here a little chip to Hemsky, gets it back to Peckham, and a good shot through traffic, and this is where he just reaches it a little too far on Craig Adams and takes him down. But you love that puck pursuit for a youngster. He wants to have the puck back, he wants it on his stick, but there gets a little overzealous, and we'll head to the box for 2.
So for trivia bunt, 2:45, the time of the first minor penalty for Ryan Nugent Hopkins. And the third power play for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They are 1 for 2. They generated 4 of their 15 shots with the man advantage. James Neal. Kunitz stopped by Sutton. Letang. Sullivan keeps it in. Neal under pressure from Horkoff. Gets it to Kunitz back up top. Here's Sullivan, cross ice, one-timer by Kunitz. And Devan Dubnyk saw that all the way. He'll make the save.
Real nice puck movement here by Pittsburgh on this power play. And a couple opportunities for the Oilers to get it down the ice, but second efforts by the Penguins keep it in play. A nice little tic-tac-toe cross-seam pass. And Kunitz doesn't get all of this shot. He loves to shoot the puck from there, has a terrific one-timer, but he fans on that one, and Dubnyk, with his big size, is able to make that save.
Anton Lander didn't get a lot of ice time in that first period, but he's up there now on the penalty kill as Sullivan hammers the shot over top of the net. Lander pushes it ahead to Ryan Jones. Ryan Jones moving in shorthanded. His sharp angle shot goes in behind the net all the way up the center where Chris Kunitz picks it up. As for Neal, goes right to Dubnyk, and he'll hang on to it.
You mentioned Anton Lander, a good job to get back into the play there. And a nice little chip off the boards to send Jones in on a little bit of a rush. And it's those little plays for Lander that they really like about his game. He just makes the good decisions. Here he sees the puck, he sees Sullivan closing down, a little chip to get it by him. Jones with speed. I don't think he was trying to miss the net here. Obviously wanted to try and look for a rebound for his partner. But right afterwards, Lander back into play, and he's the guy in front of the net that's protecting his goalie. So that two-way play of Anton Lander is one of the things I love about this kid.
Horkoff and Smith, the penalty killers up front now. As Niskanen on the point with Martin. Martin going backdoor. The shot goes on the net from Letestu and quickly back the other way. Ryan Smith catching up. Ian Belanger. Niskanen trying to get it by Belanger. Can't do it. Horkoff on the ice. Here's Horkoff. The pass just beyond his reach. Horkoff stays with it. 27 seconds left to go with the penalty to Nugent Hopkins. Jordan Staal. Matt Cook. Cook at the blue line. Letestu. Back to Niskanen at the point. Paul Martin on the other side. Big watch by Horkoff. Shot by Staal. Stopped. Niskanen. His shot doesn't make it through as PRV blocked that one. Jordan Staal. Niskanen through a crowd that deflects off the skate of Staal and right to Magnus PRV as the penalty to Hopkins is over. England will touch it, and that's going to be icing.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
A real solid penalty kill there for the Oilers. And Tom Murray this morning told us, Kevin, that they were tweaking the system a little bit to try and change things up a little bit. A little more aggressive on the wall. You saw Sean Horkoff that one time push very aggressively down the wall and try and overpopulate an area, and they'll swarm loose pucks, and it's paying dividends already early in the season. That was an area they had to really fight with last year, and they want to improve on it this year.
England's got just one shot on that power play. England, a wrist shot, doesn't make it through. It was blocked by Sutton, and it comes right to Ales Hemsky. Hemsky gives it to big number 25, 6'6", 245 pounds of Andy Sutton. Pascal Dupuis trying to make a move around Barker. Barker will have none of it. Hemsky back to pick up the puck. Ales Hemsky, room up the middle. Off the skate of Nugent Hopkins. McCulloch trying to get it by Hemsky to Dupuis. Dupuis checked by Hall, but gets it to Adams. He's got Kennedy with him. Kennedy with a wrist shot. That one is blocked, and it ends up in the equipment of Jeff Petrie. And Kennedy tried to get it out with his stick. Cam Barker didn't like that.
Well, a little bit of a long fuse for Jeff Petrie here as he really doesn't know where the puck is, but Kennedy seems to know exactly where it is, so he gives him a whack with the stick afterwards. But a good block by Petrie to stay in that shooting lane, not allow this shot to get through. There's traffic going to the net. It can be a dangerous situation, but here's the little whack by Kennedy. And finally, Petrie says, I've had enough of this. And then Barker gives him a shot from behind afterwards. So two teams that don't see one another too often, trying to develop a little bit of a rivalry here.
March 13th of last year in Pittsburgh. The Penguins won that game by the score of 5-1.
And a couple casualties for Edmonton after that game as well. Gilbert Brulé with a concussion after that one. Sean Horcoff with an ankle injury. So it was a tough night in Pittsburgh early March last year for the Oilers. They'd like to redeem themselves tonight.
Kunitz, the intercept, gets it to Kennedy. England, one-timer, and a glove save by Devin Dubnyk. The puck got deflected up, and that one touched the netting, and we've got a whistle. 1-0 the score here. The first game for the Oilers, so the break.
Tom Rennie, and it was Rennie who informed Dubnyk yesterday that he would be the starter in a very short and sweet conversation. Just be ready to go tomorrow. Dubnyk's response was, all right. And for Devin Dubnyk, he said that's the way he wanted it. He didn't want it to be a big thing. He didn't want it to be a big sit down, just something short and sweet so that he knew he would be starting tonight against Pittsburgh.
His face 13 Penguin shots. Neal. That one goes wide. Magnus Piarvi on the far side. Long outlet pass for Linus Omar. Omar sends it in deep. Johnson had to go between his legs right to Letang. There's Horcoff right there. Steve Sullivan, Letang, and Neal. Good defensive play by Tom Gilbert. Horcoff, pass for Omar, missed. Tom Gilbert activated. He's in behind the net, battling with Chris Letang for that loose puck. Sullivan's got it now. Smith almost kept it in, but Derek England carries on. Down the left side, England waits. His back end didn't make it through as Sutton got a stick in the way. Neal. That's a hard shot go, and Devin Dubnyk made the save. Scramble, Stahl able to keep it in. Stahl. Sullivan. McCulloch throws it towards the net. Blocker save. Dubnyk, and Horcoff wants to relieve the pressure. He'll get it to Smith. And Smith will get it to Omar. That line wants to change up. Smith trying to get around Paul Martin. Can't do it. Martin back the other way. Hart stops. Throws it towards the net. Off the stick of Belanger. Fighting for the puck is Stahl. Everly bounces it by Martin. McCulloch will just backhand it in, kind of scrambling right now, though.
Very scrambling. A couple opportunities for Edmonton to get pucks deep, and Pittsburgh, such an excellent transition team. They'll turn it back on you pretty quickly, so they'll have to sharpen that up here.
And chips it in. Lovejoy lays it around the board. Peckham. Wow, what a great job of trying to pick it out of the air. Almost did it.
And yeah, as I mentioned before, it's so important to get pucks past the defensemen of Pittsburgh, because when they stand you up and chip it off, all three forwards are turning quickly, getting up in the transition. Peckham with a nice little baseball swing there. Watching the playoffs as he chips it in deep. But pucks getting deep, that's where Edmonton had their success in the first period. They drew a couple penalties in the offensive zone. The Pittsburgh Penguins are doing it. If you watch, they get pucks deep, they get on the forecheck, they get pucks back, they work it to the net. It's pretty simple hockey, but with skill, it's very efficient and deadly.
Shooting the Oilers right now 6-2 in this period. Magnus Piarvi in the middle, looking for Lander. With Jones, Schmid able to keep it in at the point. Cook sees it go by him. Now he'll get another opportunity. Gets it out to center. Schmid will play it to Peckham. Leo Peckham, of course, wearing number 24 or 49 last year, but spent a lot of time, in fact, 7 years of junior and in the A wearing 24, so when it became available, grabbed it. Barker takes a hit. Petrie, his team partner, back to get it. Pass intercepted by Matt Cook. Cook throws it to the middle there. Petrie recovering. Another opportunity. Stopped by Dubnyk. Barker. 10:49 to go here in the second period. Pass for Horcoff just off the end of his stick. Smith, Horcoff, and Omar. A race for this puck. Dubnyk pushes it to the corner ahead of Chris Kunitz. Kunitz to Kennedy. Kennedy being watched by Petrie. Tyler Kennedy along the blue line. Turns. Pass for Derek England. His shot is blocked by Horcoff. Horcoff starts back the other way. John Horcoff ditches for Ryan Smith. Looking for the return feed. It was just a little bit ahead of him. Kunitz plays it to the corner, and England will pick it up. England works his way to the red line. Shot right on, and Dubnyk covers up with Jordan Stahl right there.
Well, a good job by Edmonton to keep things to the outside. Matt Cook takes a Little pickoff in the neutral zone, goes wide, is waiting for a seam to open up. He's trying to cross pass it through. But a good job by Petrie to block it down, and Dubnyk with a couple saves from wide stands his ground and makes it look easy.
Nugent Hopkins loose the draw to Letestu. Sullivan in the corner. Picked off, Hall. Stopped by Letestu. Get it right back in for Sullivan. Sullivan has got Neal out in front. Steve Sullivan parks himself in behind the net. Checked by Gilbert. Gets the puck back again. A penalty on the way to the Oilers. 6 attackers out there for the Penguins now, and it's Sullivan. Sullivan lays it out in front, and it's finally touched. And the Penguins will go back on the power play. A hooking call has been made.
2 screws on the knee, 2 screws close to his hip. And despite his apologies to Tom Rennie's player, it appeared to me that Eric Nystrom had a couple of screws loose for causing the injury in the first place.
And sparked the debate about no-touch icing once again.
Yeah, that was really horrific to watch, and you really felt for young Taylor Fedun and having such a terrific training camp, a real skilled player, and nice to see him back in Edmonton and address the media this morning. Tom Rennie said they're going to try and find an area for him to jump in and do something in some capacity with the Oilers to kind of burn the time that he's going to be off the ice.
4th power play for the Penguins. Letang and Sullivan on the blue line. Magnus Piarvi, Sean Horkoff up front on the penalty kill. Ladislav Schmid and Theo Peckham. Kennedy will get it to Kunitz. Puck comes free. Piarvi couldn't get it out. Sullivan's got it. Sullivan lays it back to Letang. Hammers a shot. That was blocked, and that stung Ladislav Schmid. Schmid is hurting as Letang let that shot go. Kennedy's got it now. He'll move in. A wrist shot this time, and Schmid got his stick in the way and got it up into the netting. And Ladislav Schmid, a great job, will make his way to the bench.
Well, Kevin, you know, there is a big discussion going on whether or not there should be no-touch icing. And here's a perfect situation for Piarvi to come in. He has full speed, and it's a race for a puck in the offensive zone. But look where his stick is. It's around the player in front of him, not in the skate area of the defenseman. So there's no chance of him taking out those skates and creating another terrible situation into the boards. And the right way to do it and the wrong way to do it. And one of the things they're going to have to really look at is the stick and skates and a bigger penalty or suspension for doing just that.
Niskanen being watched by Lander. Niskanen through traffic. Side of the net. Letestu trying to jam it home, and Devin Dubnyk down but not out as he makes the save. And Mark Letestu is robbed.
And a great save by Dubnyk here. It looked like Letestu had a wide open net here, but was looking to pass as this puck comes to him. But Dubnyk lunging across. Good patience actually by Letestu. As the big easy 6'6", all of them going across. Not a whole lot to shoot at. Wanted to try and walk it around, but he stretched out that arm and wouldn't allow Letestu to get it through to the net once again. So a great chance on that big rebound by Pittsburgh.
15 saves for Devin Dubnyk so far. 41 seconds left to go in the penalty to Tom Gilbert. Ryan Smith in to take the draw against Letestu. A scramble, and Smith gets the job done as he gets it to Eric Belanger, who sends it down the ice. Paul Martin being hounded by Smith. He'll deliver it to Niskanen. Backhands it in. Peckham gets to it first. Takes a bump from Stahl as he sends it around the boards. As Smith is able to get it out. Paul Martin across the line. Martin knocked down. Couldn't get the shot away, but carries on. The puck was underneath him. Kennedy on the far side. Puts it towards the middle. Gets it back again. Time winding down. Gilbert ready to get back on the ice. And another good job of penalty killing for the Oilers.
Really was some good chances for Pittsburgh, but the Oilers stayed with it, were able to kill that off and keep it a one-goal game. And now this is when you have, if you're the Oilers, you have to be disciplined for the remainder of this period. You've taken a couple penalties in succession. You've given the Pittsburgh Penguins some momentum past the halfway point. It's an opportunity to try and get it back. And we've talked about Malkin being out with an ankle injury, potentially a shot block that he had last night in Calgary. Sidney Crosby still out. Watch Mark Letestu here off his faceoff. Twists his ankle going down in the fight to win that face-off. He went off gingerly, so we'll watch for that. But another sentiment for Pittsburgh. A little roughed up on the play.
Well, Dan Bousman knows he's deep at center, but it's
not that deep.
No.
He looks like he's going to be okay, though.
16-15, the shots favor the Penguins. They have a 1-0 lead and a goal scored by Chris Letang on the power play in the first period. Anton Lander to Ryan Jones. Out there with Jordan Eberle as Petrie sends it around the boards. Eberle waiting for it. He'll chop it out to center. Adams. Natali given a nice bump there by Jones right in front of the Pens bench. As Petrie plays it off the glass. Can't get it by Lovejoy. Shoots it right back in. Near side, Dupuis. Dupuis throws it towards the net. That gets deflected high, and Ryan Jones picks it up. Ryan Jones gets to center, bounces it right towards Johnson. As he wants to make a change, Alice Hemsky is out there now with Hall and Nugent Hopkins. Ben Lovejoy almost gave that puck away to Taylor Hall. And that puck gets deflected out, and that'll allow us to join Gino. Gene.
Well, Safeway's featured participating product for tonight's hockey game is Folgers Coffee.
And Bilesma, first Penguins coach to win the Jack Adams Trophy. And talking to him before the game, Louis, you get the idea that he brings a different approach to coaching, but you're not really surprised. You knew him as a player.
Yeah, and he was one of those cerebral players as well, and he was a great penalty killer, knew the systems in and out, and that's one of the things that he's brought to the table as a head coach. Has a lot of systems and really feels the players have a lot more to offer in that department. We talked about the 20-plus face-off plays that he has. He expects his players to know those plays, and he says once they get it down, they like it because everyone knows exactly where they're supposed to be. So he's had great success so far early in his coaching career in the National Hockey League.
James Neal. And a shot by Letestu goes wide. Englund bounces it back in, and the linesman almost went for a header into the Pens bench.
Gets a hand from Kunitz there.
Yeah, and Craig Adams also. Wow, that's danger pay, but the Penguins were there to cushion the fall. We'll be right back.
NHL Game Center Live is back in bed.
In fact, everybody knows he has a concussion, and as he tries to come back from that issue, it appears to be both black and white.
Last year, Gene, Crosby, Stahl, and Malkin missed a total of 120 man games. And Crosby and Malkin not in the lineup tonight. Eberle. And Johnson makes a save up high. And he'll hang on to it. The Oilers get their 16th shot of this game to tie it with the Penguins. And Johnson took that one in the throat.
Yeah, and a real good quick release here by Jordan Eberle, and where he's been so effective and gets it off the wall. Good forecheck established by Edmonton. They turn the puck over, take it to the net. Johnson gets way outside the crease and makes that save. Eberle wasn't too happy. He's pretty dialed in from that direction usually. I think that one got a little away from him. But a good chance created once again off the forecheck for Edmonton.
Eberle led all point getters for the Oilers last year with 43, 12 even strength, 4 power play, 2 shorthanded. And PRB, Omar, and Horkoff up front now. Park to Stahl, gets it back again. Richard Park plays it back to the point. Paul Martin waiting for it. Martin trying to thread through a crowd, couldn't get it past Omar. Now that may have hurt number 23 just a little bit. We saw Ladislav Schmid shook up by blocking a shot. Horkoff battles it out the center and gets it to Hemsky. Hemsky trying to get it back to Horkoff, didn't work. Stahl will just chip it in. He's going to head off on a change with 4:39 to go here in the second period. The Penguins making their 15th West Coast and Western Canadian road trip in the history of this franchise. They won the first 2 games. Pascal Dupuis. Back to the point. Dupuis hammers the shot. And there is Dubnyk standing tall. Dupuis has it again. Gets knocked down before he can get the shot away by Alice Hemsky. Hemsky with Hall. Hall trying to get around Lovejoy. Alice Hemsky throwing his weight around. Natali playing it off the boards, kept in by Sutton briefly. Hopkins, good play to keep it in for Hall. Hall with Hemsky out in front. Hall around behind the net. Hall right out in front, and it got by Hopkins, but not Sutton. Sutton steps into a slap shot. Pad save, back to Gilbert at the point. Fakes the shot this time. He'll bring it back to Tom Gilbert. Gilbert takes a look. Nugent Hopkins shot. Deflected by Niskanen. And finally cleared down the ice by Matt Cook, but a good shift for Hopkins, Hall, and Hemsky. Hopkins out there. He's got Everly going to the net. Here is Jones with a quick shot. Johnson the save. Everly looking for the rebound. It slides right through the blue paint. The Oilers with some push here in the second period. With just over 3 minutes to go. The fans right back in it. Everly moving in. His shot is blocked by Letestu. Carrying on is Lander. His shot. A penalty on the way. And Ryan Jones wants to know why he's getting an interference call.
Oh, yeah! Let's go! Let's do this!
Get your game on with Sports Select.
That's not a very good call, I don't think. And here's that chance by Jordan Everly.
Ryan Jones, an interference call, and the Pittsburg Penguins will get their 5th opportunity with the man advantage. They have generated just 6 shots. And Ryan Jones, one of the better penalty killers for the Oilers, will sit. Magnus PRV and Sean Horkoff are out there now in control. Give it back to Gilbert, along with Andy Sutton. Kennedy. Stopped by Smith, and Smith will send it down the ice. Pittsburgh came in with a 50% success rate in the first 2 games against Vancouver and Calgary. Now just 1 for 4, and Belanger intercepts. Eric Belanger stripped of the puck by Stahl, and that is a penalty. And Jordan Stahl is headed to the box for hooking.
Well, great pickoff here by Belanger as he picks the puck, keeps his feet moving. Jordan Stahl with the reach in takes the 2-minute penalty to nullify the power play for them. So a great defensive play leading to an offensive chance and drawing the penalty on that smart thinking by Eric Belanger. Such a good penalty killing forward. Doing his job. And now the Penguins on their back foot. You've got Hall and Hemsky out. You can't counter with Stahl, so you've got Park and Cook. Schmid, along with Cam Barker. 4-on-4, plenty of ice for number 83. He is stopped though by Matt Cook. Cook, a slap shot, and that was blocked by Schmid, and Ladislav Schmid slow to get up. He is on his skates right now as play continues. Kunitz with Park in front. Kunitz to Park. Falling as he let that shot go. It doesn't go through, but Ladislav Schmid has paid the price tonight. Kunitz brings it back in. Schmid still out there, but Vitale was offside.
Ready to sell? RE/MAX agents have the experience to get the job done in today's market. Visit remax.ca today.
Ladislav Schmid getting a few taps on his way back to the bench, paying the price once again. Anytime a defenseman goes down like this, puts the knee down, there's areas of the padding that open up, and he definitely got hit in one of those ones there. And the blast, he feels it, he stays down for a while, gets himself up, and gets himself to the bench afterwards. Those stinging pain ones that last for a while. But Ladislav Schmid has done that a couple times tonight already, and why you love watching him play for the Oilers, and they're happy to have him back healthy. He's willing to pay the price for his team.
Horkoff wins that draw. He's out there with Ryan Smith. 30 seconds left to go in the penalty to Ryan Jones, and then the Oilers will go on their 5th power play. It'll be a short one. Sutton flips it in. Johnson stops it up behind the net. Dupuis. Being watched by Ryan Smith. Dupuis with Vitale. Takes the shot himself, and Dubnyk flashes the leather and makes the save.
That one got up in a hurry on Devin Dubnyk as it rose with Sutton going down trying to block it. Dupuis does the right thing, gets it over top of him and tries to go high. Glove on Devin Dubnyk. And you've seen a lot of this from Pittsburgh. These long shots from outside through traffic, trying to get it through to the goaltender with bodies converging on the net. But Dubnyk doesn't want to have any of that and holds on to it.
Belanger wins the draw, and Jones is set to get back on the ice. Power play for the Oilers with less than a minute to go here in the second period. Belanger for Hall. Hall squeezed off the puck. Martin as for Cook. Cook moving in with Adams. Cook toe drag, but Barker got his stick in the way.
The Edmonton Oilers have a small number of executive suites available for rent during the 2011-12 season. Rexall Place rental suites are located on 2 levels, providing privacy and comfort for groups of 12 to 36. Enjoy each thrilling moment of a fast-paced Edmonton hockey game while entertaining business partners, employees, or friends. For more information, call 780-409-5897 or email bobh@edmontonoilers.com.
Nugent Hopkins wins that draw. The Oilers with possession and 25 seconds on the clock. Barker. Around the boards it goes. Hall waiting for it. He's got Hemsky and Hopkins with him. Hall all the way back to the point. Barker waiting for it. Barker to Nugent Hopkins. He had Martin all over him. It gets the puck to Hall. Looking for Hemsky. Time winding down. Stahl is out of the penalty box. Teams at even strength. Hemsky. Then there's a pass. Hall shot. What a save by Johnson. Right at the buzzer. The Oilers come oh so close to tying this hockey game.
And a terrific save by Johnson there right at the buzzer as Taylor Hall winds it up on the one-timer. Great patience by Hemsky after the turnover created by Ryan Nugent Hopkins to keep this puck alive. Gets it up a little bit too high, and it looks like it hits the face mask a little bit of Johnson, but the cross seam pass once again. Hemsky holds, and finds Taylor Hall for the one-timer, but can't beat Brent Johnson.
No scoring in this period, but plenty to talk about. And the guy with the lead.
NHL Game Center Live is back and better than ever, bringing you NHL hockey straight to your computer. And this season, we've made it even easier for you to follow the live action. Select from home and away broadcasts to follow your team even while they're on the road. Make the most of your viewing experience with live stats, in-game highlights, while connecting with other fans. And follow the action from around the league with real-time game notifications.
First period, the goal that the Pittsburg Penguins scored, no Oiler was in a shooting lane. The puck got through as a goal. Second period, much different Edmonton Oiler team. Every chance they get, they got into a shooting lane and they were blocking shots. 20 shots the Oilers blocked in the second period. Laddie Schmid, 5 shots himself, which tied the Pittsburgh Penguins. So, and it's not always just putting your body on line, getting sticks in the lane. Just making sure that the puck has to go through something before it gets to the net. Laddie Schmid right there, a warrior, great job.
Andy Sutton is second with 3 block shots. Chris Letang has a power play goal, but what did the Oilers do differently on the PK in period 2?
They're much more aggressive. You know, when you look at the Penguins lineup, there's no Crosby, there's no Malkin. So you can be more aggressive in a defensive zone because they don't have guys that are going to be able to beat you one-on-one like Crosby and Malkin can do. When you're aggressive on a team, they don't have time to think about what they're going to do with the puck. But in doing that, everybody has got to be on the same page. So if one guy gets aggressive, everyone has to be aggressive because they got to know which player to take. The Oilers were very good in the second period doing that, and because of that, the Pittsburgh Penguins went 0 for 3 on the power play.
Despite the fact that Pittsburgh has scored now in 5 straight games going back to last season, it also helps when you win a face-off, as the Oilers did in that scenario, to kill off at least some valuable seconds. They'll look to have that kind of penalty killing as well in period number 3. It is the start of period 3. 3 games in 4 nights. Should the Oilers push the pace on Pittsburgh?
They have to. They've got to be the much pressure team. They haven't played in a week. Penguins, this is the 3rd in 4 nights. They got guys injured. They've been traveling a lot. This has got to be the Edmonton Oilers period.
Rob, thanks for this. He says push the pace. Guys, get your vocal cords ready because Louis and Kevin might have a busy 3rd period of play.
And that 3rd period, Gene, is set to go. Thanks very much, guys. You talked about the face-off circle. Sean Horkoff, the veteran, 9-4 so far through 40 minutes of play. And it is Horkoff who will start with the Army and Omar in this 3rd period. Matescu wins that draw. And we'll see, Louis, if the Oilers do push the pace in this 3rd period. As the guys mentioned, 3 games in 4 nights for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Johnson lays it around the boards, and that is out of play, deflecting off the glass, so no penalty. Here's what's happened so far. The only goal in this game came in the first period on the power play for the Penguins.
Yeah, it was the first power play that Pittsburgh had. It was Chris Letang with the shot from the blue line that squeaked through traffic and eluded Devin Dubik. No scoring in the second period. As Rob Brown said, Kevin, you're right. They have to push the issue here. Dan Bilesma, that was one of the worries he had coming into this game in his Pittsburgh team. A 30th place team from last year, Edmonton. They're playing their third game in 4 nights. Could be a little fatigued. They're obviously a little banged up with Malkin being out of the lineup tonight. So Edmonton has to take advantage of that and can't allow Pittsburgh to just play that settled down type of game. They have to get a little urgent here in this final one.
And we saw in the first 2 games for the Penguins that both times the Canucks and the Flames were able to come back in the third period. The Canucks getting a point out of it, forcing that game into overtime and then the shootout. And the Flames looked dead and buried, and they came back, got 3 goals.
Well, a little bit of a sit-back for the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first 2 games of the season. You can see it here, too, in the second as well. They're kind of just trying to hang on to their lead.
Nugent Hopkins with a feed for Ryan Smith, tipped just wide. Kennedy starts back the other way. He's with Stahl and Kunitz. Return feed from Stahl to Kunitz to Kennedy didn't work, but Kennedy trying to work against Schmid. Schmid, as we mentioned, 5 block shots. Letang throws it towards the net, going wide, but Devin Dubnyk with Kennedy there doesn't take any chances.
Well, a little reuniting here with the 2 Ryans. They played a little bit in the preseason together, had good chemistry. Nugent Hopkins with the stop-up delay waits for Ryan Smith to get into a lane. And he does get a piece of this, but just not enough to really direct it the way that he wants it to go. Misses it wide. But good vision by young Hopkins to find the streaking Smith through the seam, and that's one of the areas that Ryan Smith loves to go to. So Tom Rennie already starting to shuffle some things up here, trying to find some chemistry, trying to find some life to get themselves back into this game.
Well, they're going to have to go to the penalty kill right now as Andy Sutton flipped that puck over the glass, and he is headed to the box.
Just one of those little plays. As a defenseman, they think they know exactly where they are, and he just misses it high over the glass. Wants to get it out, knows he has forwards going down. Andy Sutton, a huge defenseman at 6'6", over 250 pounds, known for his physical play and defensive style. Not too happy with himself there as he puts his team down a man.
The 7th power play for the Penguins. The Oilers have limited this power play to just 6 shots on the man advantage. Kunitz, between the legs pass, is picked off by Sean Horkoff. Getting it to Magnus PRV. PRV and Horkoff up front. Gilbert and Petrie on the blue line. PRV disrupting behind the net. Sullivan is on the blue line, and Louis may be a vulnerable guy for the Oilers to attack. Sullivan has the puck right now. He dishes off to Chris Kunitz. Kunitz in the corner. He'll play it back. Kennedy waiting for it. Now Letang fires a shot towards the goal. And Tom Gilbert picks up that rebound and fires it down the ice. Penguins change up on the power play. Neal out there now as Martin gets to center. Fires it around the boards. Beckham waiting for it against Neal. It comes to Belanger. Belanger plays it off the boards and gets it out. Ian Jones on the penalty kill. Now Horkoff replaces Belanger. And Anton Lander takes the spot of Ryan Jones. So quick changes for the Oilers on this penalty kill, and so far very effective.
Legs on the ice.
Back to the point it goes. Niskanen waiting for it there. Gives it to Martin. Great play by Horkoff to intercept that pass, knock it down. And then Lander finishes it off, and they're going to change. Belanger and PRV out there now with 30 seconds left to go on the penalty to Andy Sutton. Angus PRV against Cook. Niskanen pinching. The battle continues for the puck. It comes back to the point. Letestu is there. He'll give it to Niskanen. Matt Niskanen throws it towards the net through traffic. Dubnyk stands his ground and makes the save. And here's Magnus PRV starting out with Tom Gilbert and Eric Belanger. 3-on-2 shorthanded. PRV lets the shot go and a blocker save by Brent Johnson. Penalty to Sutton is over. So once again, the Oilers do a good job of containing this power play for the Pittsburgh Penguins. McCulloch will touch it, and that's going to be icing against the Oil.
Just a little miscommunication there, and that little soft chip off the boards up the ice. Both players thought the other one was going to take it, so it goes down for the icing. So another face-off in the defensive zone for Edmonton. But another good penalty kill to keep themselves alive in this third period for Edmonton. Pittsburgh not really able to generate too much on that man advantage, and good pressure by Edmonton. You mentioned the quick changes, get fresh bodies on the ice, keep the intensity high, therefore you can pressure a little more aggressively, and it's worked for the Oilers.
The Penguins with just one shot on that power play. Vitale, Adams, and Dupuis up front now, and Belanger in the face-off dot. Gilbert. He's playing with Andy Sutton as Hemsky waits for it. A little bit of control. They actually had 3 defensemen out there for a little bit as Schmid was on the ice as well. Here's Hall, tied up by Ben Lovejoy. Hemsky in there to help out. The referee wants him to move it, but Ben Lovejoy and Hall want to tie it up. And the puck does squirt free, and it is McCulloch who sends it down the ice. McCulloch under pressure from Hall. They both go down. Hemsky carries on. Alex Hemsky. Great job of stick handling. Hemsky has it again. A slap shot this time. Pad save by Johnson. Dupuis. He runs into Hemsky.
I think that was Hemsky running into him.
As for Eberle, gets by him. And Adams content just to send it down the ice. Dubnyk out to play it with Sullivan bearing down. Schmid pushes it ahead for Smith. Smith gets it to Horkoff, to Eberle. Eberle with speed, a wrist shot, and that one goes wide. Peckham, near side, able to keep it in. He'll give it to Eberle. Eberle on the fly, another wrist shot in traffic. Johnson makes the save, but he didn't do it easily, as Ryan Smith was right in his kitchen.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
Well, this is something the Oilers are going to have to do a little more of, and they're starting to get a little bit more dirty into the dangerous areas. You saw Taylor Hall last shift in front, banging away, getting in front of Johnson. When you have a goaltender that's having a fairly easy night, you have to have a presence in front of him. Ryan Smith, one of the best there, as Eberle gets it through. And as you mentioned, it was a lot tougher save for him to make. He mishandled a little bit. But the Oilers just haven't done that enough throughout this game, is get traffic in front of Johnson, get pucks to the net with that traffic there. So he's had a relatively easy night as far as the saves that he's had to make. And they're hanging on to the 1-0 lead.
Anton Lander, Ryan Jones, and Magnus Pjarvi are out there now. So Tom Ruddy, as we saw, mixing up his lines just a little bit, had Horkoff, Smith, and Eberle together, trying to find the tying goal. Martin to Kennedy. Kennedy given a big shot there by Sutton. Lander raising around the boards. Maybe Curtis Gilbert. He is given a bump by Stahl. Pjarvi carries on with Lander. Magnus Pjarvi moving wide on Martin. Trying to cut for the net. It ends up inside the net. As he got knocked down by Martin, the net comes off the moorings.
Well, he scored. Great drive wide. And I like seeing this from Magnus Pjarvi. He's a big body. He's strong. Came into camp in terrific shape. Made great strides in the offseason with his conditioning. And goes right through the 5-hole of Brent Johnson into the net. But you like to see that reckless abandon, driving himself to the net and testing his defense wide. And just mishandles. A good stick by the defender there to just pop it off of Pjarvi's stick at the last second as he was going through.
34 points last year for Pjarvi. He had 5 points in his last 6 regular season games, trying to carry on that momentum here. Neal does get a shot away with block. Gilbert clears it away. Neal's got it again, throws it towards the net. That one deflected by Letescu wide. Lovejoy pinching to keep it in against Magnus Pjarvi. Pjarvi comes up with a puck. Nifty pass to Anton Lander. Lander checked by Neal. Gilbert trying to help out. Gilbert, good job to take it away from James Neal. Neal against Lander. Lander muscles him off the puck. Sullivan in there to help out. It is blue collar time now as Sullivan ends up behind the net. Plays it out in front. There is Lovejoy with a shot that went off Hall. Neal knocked down by Gilbert. He's still down. The puck pops up in the air, ends up in the near corner. Sullivan working his way in, centering pass. Jones got a stick in the way. Anton Lander wants to get it out and does. Louis, that was a tough shift for both sides.
It wasn't for Anton Lander. A little pickpocket by James Neal, but he gets back into the play, comes back, takes Neal out physically, so he redeems himself in the defensive zone. But I don't think he expected Neal to get up the ice as quickly as he did. He thought he had more time, but one of those things that he'll learn playing in this league. His first National Hockey League game. Guys are pretty quick. And if you don't get going pretty quickly, they will catch you.
Shop and swipe your club card at Safeway today and you could be our next lucky winner. Watch future Sportsnet telecasts. You could win a 52-inch Sharp Aquos TV with Quatron technology.
Gene, I have got pages and pages of score and win winners and just ready to go. I want to give away some prizes. I want to be like Bob Barker. I got all sorts of stuff to give away. Ryan Nugent Hopkins. And in that face-off draw against Joe Vitale, wasn't dropped cleanly. So we'll do it again. How have you assessed number 93 in his first game?
Well, he's done pretty well. He's made some terrific passes. Could have had a couple of assists in that first period and a little bit of a slower second period, but the Penguins were responsible for most of that. They really clogged things up, didn't allow Edmonton to get in there and make plays. But for Ryan Nugent Hopkins, that's kind of been the scouting report on him. At any moment in time, he can make one of those plays that can change a game. So there's still time left in this one.
Ales Hemsky off the boards for Hopkins. Here he comes, drops for Hemsky. Hemsky trying to get it backhand, couldn't do it. England was there to block the play. Petrie in a foot race with Dupuis. Petrie gets there first for Cam Barker. Barker will give it to Petrie. Petrie being watched by Stahl. Schmid on the ice now. Oilers able to get it out to center. Omar has over top of the stick of Horkoff, and back the other way comes Kennedy. Kennedy with a wrist shot. Devin Dubnyk makes the save. Hangs onto it as Theo Peckham was forced into his goaltender. And that draws a crowd. Ryan Nugent Hopkins with a great pass to Ales Hemsky. And it almost tied the game. We'll be back to Rexall right after this.
You to put the Oiler goalies in order from most to least when it comes to shutouts with Edmonton. And there's your order. Tommy Salo is the winner. He had 23. Grant Fuhr had 9. Curtis Joseph in the middle with 14. So it ends up spelling R-O-B. Rob is the correct answer. Hopefully you had a chance to win tickets to the upcoming game of many that'll happen here at Rexall this season. Only 40 more to go.
And 11:45 to go in the third period here as Horkoff, Omar, and Piyarvi are back together again. Omar, a bouncing shot onto Johnson. And he didn't take any chances. You never know.
Yeah, that one had a little English on it. It bounced quickly just before hitting to Johnson. So we've seen this before from Linus Ullmark. He likes to throw a puck in on the net, bobble it on purpose. The goaltender can't handle it. He picks it up and tucks it in. He scored a goal like that last year. Had an assist in preseason, the same thing. So this is kind of a planned play by him, but Johnson's smart enough to stay with this one, use the whole body and make the save.
Belanger against Park. A scramble draw controlled by the Oilers, and it's Everly with the puck now. Everly to Ryan Smith. Smith back to the point he comes. Jeff Petrie, crowd in front, shot right on. And Johnson makes the save, a little pushing and shoving now.
And a real nice job by Pittsburgh here to block out. There was traffic in front, but Derek England just kind of pushes himself through and clears the zone. So Johnson can get way out and make that save. That shot from Petrie, no traffic in front, and that's one of the areas you have to battle for that space. And you'll see this here as Smith gets it back to Petrie. Has a lot of time to take this shot right there. The block out by England allows his goaltender to see it all the way. And then that's when the little scrum ensues and a couple penalties dished out. Looks like it'll be coincidental.
England and Belanger will sit for the next 2 minutes. Ryan Smith, Jordan Eberle are up front. Barker and Petrie on the points as Smith lines up against Jordan Stahl. He's got Pascal Dupuis up front. Niskanen and Letang, the blue liners for the Penguins in this 4-on-4 situation. Everly in the corner. Stahl. Quickly to Letang. 2-on-1 with Dupuis. Chris Letang. Letang moving in. Oh, what a save by Devin Dubnyk to keep it a 1-0 game as Letang goes heavily into the boards. Chris Letang looking for his second goal of the game, denied by number 40. And the Penguins move back in. Here's Niskanen. Sharp angle shot. Again, Letang is stopped. Dupuis looking after it, trying to get it away from Petrie. Petrie prevents that, but it's an interference call that is on the way.
And just a little bit too much as Cam Barker stays in the play. A terrific save by Devin Dubnyk as Letang comes down, makes the move, tries to go high on Dubnyk, stays with it, makes a terrific left hand save. Letang went heavily into the boards. It's amazing that he jumped right back up afterwards to get himself back into it. The scrum ensues around Dubnyk. Full possession by Edmonton. It was a little bit delayed afterwards. Clear here, a little pick to allow his partner Everly to get around. And he's going to go to the box for that.
The 8th power play for the Pittsburg Penguins.
It usually works if you're not looking at the guy you're picking, but he kind of came through and hit him square in the shoulder.
Now this is going to be a lot of ice. 4-on-3 now for the next minute and 13 seconds. As Steve Sullivan leads the rush. Dishes off to Kunitz. Chris Kunitz with Letang at the point. He and Neal are on the blue line. Letang fakes the shot. Delivers down low for Sullivan. Kunitz parks himself in front as it comes back to Letang. Letang, Sullivan, Sullivan, Neal hammers that shot. Rebound chance for Kunitz, denied. Dubnyk made the first save. The rebound cleared away. Kunitz swept away by Ryan Smith. Ends up behind the net. Andy Sutton is there. Sutton gets it to Peckham, and Peckham sends it down the ice.
Oh, and Ryan Smith wanted that puck too. He was screaming at Theo Peckham that he was open. Give him a little chip. Would have been a one-on-one with Chris Letang, who seems like he's been on the ice for the last 5 minutes straight.
Brings it in across the blue line for Kunitz. Given a bump there by Gilbert. Around the boards it goes. Martin on the far side. 15 seconds of 4-on-3. Letang at the blue line. Kunitz again parks himself in front. Letang for Martin. Paul Martin. Back to Letang. Letang to Neal. Neal with a wrist shot that misses, and that comes all the way out. And that allows Eric Belanger to pick the puck up right away. With Gilbert. Belanger, slap shot. Johnson save. He'll hang on.
Get your game on with Sports Select.
Well, perfect timing for Eric Belanger to get out of the box, make a nice little move at the blue line and get a slap shot through, trying to handcuff Brent Johnson. For Eric Belanger, was a little under the weather yesterday, missed practice, but he was ready to go today. And has played well in his first game as an Edmonton Oilers.
So now 5-on-4 for the next 18 seconds. Cam Barker in the penalty box. This is Stahl. Given a bump behind the net by Theo Peckham. Jones runs into Niskanen. Peckham around the boards looking for Horkoff. 2 seconds left to go in the penalty to Barker, and he's out of the box. So once again, the Oilers have done a great job of the penalty kill. Schmid up to Jones. Ryan Jones with Ladislav Schmid. Blocker saved by Johnson. Hall carries on. Taylor Hall circles the net. Nugent Hopkins, wrist shot! And Johnson had to be sharp. Hopkins right on the puck again. For Jones. Jones between the legs for Hall. Checked by Letestu. Hopkins trying to keep it in. And finally, the Penguins able to get it out. They want to change. Petrie takes a look. Hemsky on the move. Alex Hemsky at center. With Taylor Hall. Hemsky carrying on. Takes the shot from that sharp angle. Hopkins to Hall. Hall being watched by McCulloch. Hall gets knocked down. Hemsky looked to throw the big hit. Eric England against Petrie. Joe Vitale trying to help out. Nugent Hopkins has the puck now. Stopped by Dupuis. He'll give it to Petrie. Petrie around the boards and gets the puck out. Davinik McCulloch is going to go back and touch it, and that's going to be icing. Our game story is brought to you by Synovus Energy. New ideas, new approaches.
Ryan Nugent Hopkins making his NHL debut. First overall pick of last year. The Penguins get on the board early with Letang's power play goal, and the Penguins looking for the sweep in Western Canada. They beat Vancouver on Thursday night, Calgary on Saturday, and are up 1-0 with 7:34 here left against the Edmonton Oilers tonight. So be considered a pretty successful road swing if they can accomplish that.
The last time they did that was December of 2007. 7 minutes, 21 seconds to go here in regulation time. James Neal turns, plays it behind the net. Waiting for it there is Craig Adams out there with Park trying the wraparound. Dubnyk went to glove it, couldn't find it. But the Oilers able to get it down the ice and right on to Johnson. That allows a change. Eberle, Smith, and Belanger out there now with Schmid and Sutton. Schmid to Eberle. Jordan Eberle along the boards for Belanger. Too far for him. Paul Martin got to it first. Eberle intercepts that, gets tripped up by Craig Adams. And the Penguins bounce it down the ice. A race for it. Stahl gets there first. Ahead of Andy Sutton. Back to McCulloch. He lost it. Belanger quickly up for Eberle. Eberle given a bump there by Martin, but Martin got the worst of it. There's that slippery you talked about for number 14.
Perfect time.
Kennedy trying to get that puck to settle down. Cam Barker has time. Barker off the stick of Kunitz. And it comes right to Jeff Petrie. So the Oilers will reset. Barker has it again. Petrie. Long pass intended for Omar was tipped out of play by Chris Kunitz. 1-0 remains the score here at Rexall Place. A season opener for the Oilers. Look at tonight's outstanding play, outstanding results. Brought to you by RE/MAX, the right agent for today's market.
Well, it didn't happen too long ago. It was a great rush by Chris Letang. He walks around the defender trying to block the shot, tries to go upstairs. And a terrific glove hand save by Devin Dubnyk, who's faced a lot of rubber tonight, some high-quality chances, but he's been given his chance at team a chance to stay in this game and get back into it with saves like that one there.
One of 25 that he has made so far tonight. The first time that he has started a season opener. Yarby, Horkoff, Omar up front. Yarby with the puck now. Check. Horkoff trying to jam it home. Two backhand chances. Stopped by Brett Johnson. Pascal Dupuis plays it off the boards. Gets it by Schmid. Looking for Sullivan, but Gilbert had the angle. Tom Gilbert trying to fight off Sullivan. And he does a good job of just doing that. He'll get it to Omar. Omar. Bouncing puck right on to Johnson. The Oilers want to make a change with 5.5 minutes to go here in regulation time. No icing. Matt Cook. He's behind the net. Jeff Petrie is there. Quick pass up for Hemsky off his stick. Niskanen throws it towards the net. Deflected, and another great save by Dubnyk. As Cook may have got a stick on it. Hall quickly back the other way with Nugent Hopkins and Hemsky. Lovejoy plays it around the boards. Hemsky takes it away from Joe Vitale. Petrie with a wrist shot, and that one deflects into the corner. As Johnson got a blocker on it. Hall with it now. Between the legs pass looking for Hemsky. Hopkins with a chance. And a chance. He scores! He's done it! Ryan Nugent Hopkins, his first National Hockey League goal, has tied this game at 1. Get that puck for number 93.
And what a terrific play. This was all Nugent Hopkins. Great rush by Hall up the ice. Great support by Hemsky, but it was the give and go by Hopkins with his quick decision to get this puck down low and get to the net. He'd already drawn a penalty on this play right here. Gets it down, jumps around his opponent, and he gets himself to a spot, follows up his own shot, and bangs home his first National Hockey League goal. And it's a big one in his first game to tie this game 1-1. Great play by the youngster.
15:05, the time of the goal. His first in the NHL. And we're at 1-1 with 4:45 to go here in regulation.
And you could see it coming. Hemsky, Hall, and Hopkins all night long have just been tinkering on that line of getting it together and capitalizing. And finally, in the clutch, as we said, Ryan Nugent Hopkins has a flair for the dramatic. Scores his first one. It's a big one.
Jeff Petrie and Taylor Hall get the assist. Ryan Nugent Hopkins, history made at 15:05. His first in the NHL, ties the game at 1.
This is on the bench getting looked at here. He looks like he's going to be fine, but it's Ryan Smith that's going to be ejected from this game for this hit right here. And they're calling it a 5-minute elbowing penalty, major game misconduct. And Ryan Smith wasn't too happy with it as he talked to the linesman, went over, had words with the referee. And when you look at it in slow-mo, it wasn't an elbow, Kevin. It was more of a straight arm that he gives him. He sees Kunitz closing in. Chris Kunitz is a good body checker. He sticks his arm out, hits him with his glove. It's definitely a 2-minute penalty, but an unfortunate event there for Ryan Smith as he's ejected now with 4:14. The Penguins will remain in the penalty for the duration here, more or less.
Their 9th power play of this game. Neal, Stahl, Kennedy are up front. Letang and Sullivan on the blue line. Magnus Piarvi and Sean Horkoff, Ladislav Schmid and Theo Peckham. Sullivan brings it in, gives it to Neal. James Neal back to Sullivan at the point. Can't control it. Horkoff all over him. Sullivan has to wait for Stahl to clear. Brings it in. Neal, snapshot, save, another chance. Stopped by Dubnyk. Sullivan in behind the net. He gets knocked down. Horkoff, nifty little pass there to Peckham. Peckham plays it ahead for Magnus Piarvi. One-on-one with Chris Letang. Piarvi takes it into the corner. Wants to run some time off the clock. 3:23 to go. The Penguins remain on the power play. Paul Martin starts away slowly. Martin, hopeful pass for Cook. Didn't work. A race for it. Cook keeps the play alive as it goes to Niskanen at the point. Paul Martin, a wrist shot through traffic. And with Kunitz right in front of him, Devan Dubnyk stands tall and makes the save. Well, on behalf of the Safeway Score and Win contest and Folgers Coffee, Karen Monroe of Moranville has won the Alliance Film DVD prize pack. Congratulations to Karen on the goal, his first for Ryan Nugent Hopkins.
He's had a terrific game for his first game, Ryan Nugent Hopkins. He's made some terrific passes tonight. Could easily have a multiple-point game on his hands right now, and finally gets one by. Brent Johnson. It's been a pretty good goaltending duel here as both goaltenders have been making it look pretty easy with their positioning and size, not allowing a whole lot of pucks to drop down in front of them.
Pressure now on the penalty killers for the Oilers. Whipped by Niskanen. There's Martin's shot goes wide. Niskanen again, a weak shot that goes wide. Tom Gilbert picks it up. And it gets deflected up into the seats by Matt Cook.
Tom Gilbert almost gets caught here, just a little long holding on to this one, trying to get it off the glass and make the right play, and a good long stick poke check deflects it up over top of the glass. It's been a long night for the defensemen, especially in the penalty killing role. They've been blocking shots, paying the price. They're going to have to do that for a little while longer.
And a big face-off win by Eric Belanger. He got it back to Schmid, who sent it down the ice. Sullivan to Neal. James Neal going wide against Peckham. Peckham stays with him. Back to the point it comes. Sullivan. Neal gives it right back to Kennedy. Stahl has parked himself in front. Tyler Kennedy back to the point. Steve Sullivan. Slap pass. Good stick by Ryan Jones. Stahl has got the puck. Jordan Stahl with a pass to Neal. Gets by him, and an opportunity now for Ryan Jones shorthanded. Ryan Jones against Letang. Gives it to Belanger. Eric Belanger just couldn't get that puck to settle down. Quickly back the other way. Here comes Sullivan. Pass to James Neal. Neal puts it towards the net, and Devan Dubnyk covers up. 1:42 to go here in regulation time.
And you know, for Ryan Jones and Eric Belanger, they wish this chance would have happened about 20 seconds before. Just a little bit out of gas. Belanger's played a pretty vital role in the penalty kill tonight. A little mishap here, but he gets it across. Jones does to Belanger, and he wants to go back, but just loses it off the end of his stick. As we mentioned, wasn't feeling very well yesterday, but he's played a real solid game here, and a valiant effort by him there on that 2-on-1 rush.
Lander unable to get it out, but Matt Niskanen playing it back to Martin, put it by him. A buck and a half left to go here in regulation time. The Penguins on the power play. Ryan Smith out of the game. Anton Lander out there now with Sean Horcoff. Chris Kunitz winds up in his own zone. Letestu. Peckham trying to disrupt. Kunitz as he gets it to Cook. Matt Cook takes a look all the way up top. Martin hammers the shot. That one goes wide. And it gets by Matt Niskanen. There's less than a minute to go. Belanger and Jones. Peckham and Schmid. Letang. He'll give it to Sullivan. Steve Sullivan. Pass intercepted by Belanger, but it comes to Kennedy. Back to the point. Letang with it now. Letang being hounded there by Ryan Jones. Cross ice. Kennedy still has it. Kennedy moving in. Looks for Stahl in front. Stahl with a shot. Stopped by Dubnyk. Another chance. Opportunity. Oh, Devin Dubnyk, a huge save as he robbed Tyler Kennedy. 22 seconds to go. Here's Jordan Stahl. Jordan Stahl down low. James Neal. James Neal brings it across for Kennedy. Can't get the shot away. Ryan Jones desperate to try and get it out. Letang able to keep it in. Kennedy back to Letang. Flips it towards the net. Intercepted by Schmid. Schmid will send this puck down the ice. What an effort by the penalty killers here of the Edmonton Oilers as we have finished regulation. Devin Dubnyk, a great penalty killer.
Well, you have to be your best penalty killer. The goaltender always does, and he's been up to the task tonight in his first career opening night start all over the place. A mad scramble in front, gets across and makes that huge save, and then he gets bailed out by his defense partner. Good urgency shown in that penalty kill by Edmonton, staying in the battle and killing it off to the final buzzer. The Penguins will still have a little bit left into overtime, but this is how things got to where they are in the first period on the first power play. Chris Letang will take this puck, get it through traffic quickly, and Nugent gets through Devin Dubnyk. From that point on, he closed the doors late in the game. It was first overall pick last year, Ryan Nugent Hopkins, with a nice chip down low, a great pass out by Hall, gets through off a Hemsky to Hopkins, who stays with it and bangs it home for his first National Hockey League goal to tie it 1-1. And that's how it stands after 60 minutes.
This overtime, brought to you by Cialis. Ask your doctor if Cialis is right for you.
34 seconds left to go in the penalty to Ryan Smith. Taylor Hall is in the penalty box serving it. It'll be 4-on-3 to start this overtime. Theo Peckham, Ladislav Schmid, and Sean Horcoff are on the ice for the Oilers. Sullivan, Neal, Stahl, and Letang up front for the Penguins. This is the second overtime game for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They won in a shootout in Vancouver. Letang, the only goal for the Penguins. James Neal, a wrist shot, and he rang that one off the crossbar. Neal comes close to ending things early. Letang moves to the middle, fakes the shot, gives it to Sullivan. Sullivan back to Neal, another hard shot. This one rises over top of the net. Theo Peckham battles with Letang for that puck. And that puck went up in the air and caught a little netting.
Well, you didn't see any Oilers put their hand up because they wanted to kill more time off the penalty, but Pittsburgh was pretty aggressive in letting the linesman know that definitely hit the mesh up top from Theo Peckham, but because it deflected off a Pittsburgh player, it'll come outside. Here's that wrister by James Neal, has scored 22 or more goals in his first 3 years in the National Hockey League. Because of a shot like that, he can really zing it. He beats Dubnyk, but not the post.
Taylor Hall is set to get back on the ice. Now linesman points to himself and says that was my fault, so they're going to have to put a little time back on the clock. Lou, we talked about Dan Bylsma and his set plays. What about this with Taylor Hall set to come out of the box? The face-off crucial for Sean Horcoff against Joe Vitale.
Well, I don't know if you noticed it on that last one, but Niskanen was sending it alone pretty quickly. So a little adjustment by Cam Barker to step over along the boards to take it away if it does pop through. Now Sean Horkoff is saying, I want you back over here. So a little communication going down on the ice. But yes, they have to be aware of the fact that Taylor Hall's stepping out of that box. I just saw a little look from Paul Martin to make sure that he had a beat on number 4 coming out.
And Hall is back on the ice. We're 4-on-4 here in overtime, and Taylor Hall comes and gets the puck. Here comes Hall moving in, lets the shot go, and Johnson makes the save. Niskanen. Hall, Hemsky up front, Gilbert and Barker on the blue line. Martin, his pass for Dupuis doesn't work. Barker turns. Dupuis gets there first, but gave it away to Taylor Hall. Hall for Hemsky. Hall. Hemsky. Here's Hemsky with Gilbert in front. Hemsky will go all the way back, and now he is checked by Letang. Letang races in, sharp angle through the blue paint. Pascal Dupuis on the far side. Dupuis comes to Letang. Chris Letang will backhand it in. Sutton gets there first. Hall was tied up by Letang. That allows Kunitz to come in. Kunitz centering pass for the Testu, and a great save by Devin Dubnyk. McCulloch throws it towards the net. A much easier save for Dubnyk this time.
Well, some hockey coming up on Thanksgiving. It'll be in the morning as Calgary visits St. Louis, 11:30 a.m. Mountain Time with a pregame show. Game at 12 noon, and the Edmonton Oilers will get a few days off. And then they'll be back in action, game number 1 on the road as they're in St. Paul to take on Minnesota. Pregame show 5:30 p.m. Mountain. Game time just after 6.
Don't tell the kids the record in Minnesota.
Yeah, they don't know that yet, which might be good heading into Thursday night.
They've got some work to do here. 3 minutes and 12 seconds to go in overtime. Eric Boulanger with Anton Lander. Boulanger snaps that shot and it goes wide. Niskanen plays it along the board. Schmid pinching against Sullivan. Paul Martin will go back and pick it up. Martin, being watched by Lander, gives it to Jordan Staal. Staal being watched by Piarvi. Fights through that. Can't get it by Petrie. Now it comes to Niskanen. His pass intended for Staal is picked off, but it comes to McCulloch. And McCulloch couldn't handle it. It got by him, and the Penguins will have to regroup. Jeff Petrie will give it to Cam Barker. Ryan Jones out there now. Here comes Barker. He is stuck to the blue line. Neal back the other way. Piarvi pushes Kennedy off the puck and gets the puck to Jones. McCulloch. Letang. Across the blue line. Chris Letang. Backhand. Devin Dubnyk makes the save, and he'll hang on.
Chris Letang's had a terrific game tonight for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and here again showing his skill and speed up the ice, crisscross at the blue line, and decides to take it himself. And a great job by Dubnyk once again to hold his ground, get down quickly and make that save. But for Chris Letang, an offensive defenseman, gets up in the play, has that hard shot, and he's just effortless in his abilities. He can stay out there for forever, it seems tonight. He's played a lot.
He was 7th among defensemen last year with 50 points. Ryan Nugent Hopkins out there with the captain, Sean Horkoff. Hopkins with the puck now. Here is Hopkins moving in against Letang. Hopkins turns. Letang trying to pin him against the boards. Hopkins stays with it, gets it to Horkoff. Sutton is in front. Hopkins with it now. Hopkins moving in, still has it, gets knocked down. The puck is up in the air. Scramble for it, shot by Horkoff, goes just wide. A minute and a half to go here in overtime. Eberle and Lander with Petrie and Barker. Paul Martin off the boards for Joe Vitale. Vitale trying to cut around Barker, plays it right out in front. Kunitz was swooping by and back the other way. Here comes Lander. Lander with Eberle. Lander stopped for Petrie. Petrie with a shot. He scores! No goal! Wow! We got to take a look at that. Play continues. Chris Kunitz Back to the point. Niskanen throws it towards the net. Devin Dubnyk juggles. Vitale with it now. Joe Vitale. McCulloch winds, lets the shot go and rips it wide. Anton Lander takes a look, gives it back to Schmid. 34 seconds to go. That one fooled me completely. I thought this game was over. It might be here as Alashevsky moves in. Alashevsky trying to go to the backhand. Letang there defensively. Chris Letang will give it to Matt Niskanen. Time winding down in overtime. Niskanen couldn't get the shot away against Tom Gilbert. Jordan Staal picks up the puck. Staal moves to the middle. He's checked by Schmid. Niskanen got knocked down by Gilbert. Hall starts away. Time winding down, trying to get a shot away. Taylor Hall. And we are going to a shootout. But let's take a look at why this game is going to a shootout.
Well, I think everybody at Rexall Place thought that it was in the net as well. And a great stop up by Lander, who gets across the line. Petrie through traffic, gets a zinger through. And right off the post, head height on Brent Johnson. But you weren't the only one that thought that one was in. It was a good quick shot by Petrie. Good job to get it away with Kunitz right there in the lane and fight through that stick check to get it over the streaking Vitale and on net.
Off Johnson, off the post, and we are going to a shootout.
Wow, goodness.
The Pittsburgh Penguins that have been here before, they beat Vancouver in their season opener in Vancouver. The Oilers went to 11 shootouts last year.
And they beat Vancouver on Thursday night in a shootout. A couple terrific goals, one by Chris Letang and one by Evgeny Malkin, who's not in the lineup tonight, just undressing Roberto Luongo in the 3 series. You're certainly going to see Letang shoot here. He's one of the better guys in the National Hockey League, very active in the shootout process. And he's a slick player that has some terrific moves. For Edmonton, a bunch of decisions for Tom Rooney. He has some great choices here.
How about we write a script and have number 93 in the shootout?
He just might. I don't know about right away. There's some great shooters. You got to think you're going to see Jordan Eberle possibly, but who knows? With Tom Rooney, he likes to give the horse the bit, as he likes to say, so he might just let him go.
Eberle, Hemsky, Omar will be the first 3 shooters for the Edmonton Oilers. Yeah, we'll see who the Penguins counter with. As Louis mentioned, one of the guys that scored in the game against Vancouver, Chris Letang. He has a goal tonight, the only Penguins goal. Edmonton has decided that they will go first, and it will be Jordan Eberle.
Well, that's a great decision. Jordan Eberle is so good in tight on a goaltender, has so many moves. We've seen some great ones already in only his second year, starting this year. Last year as a rookie, led the team with 43 points and had some highlight reel goals. This guy can stick handle on the phone book.
Letang, Neal, and Sullivan will be the shooters for the Penguins. But it is Jordan Eberle in the spotlight first. Louis looking for the backhand upstairs.
Well, a goaltender that he's never faced before, that's definitely his best move. I guarantee you Brent Johnson has the book on him, but hard to defend.
Here we go. Eberle upstairs scores on a forehand shot. The Oilers strike first.
Well, he sold him. He sold him like he was going to do that move and just went back across the grain. So obviously, you see Johnson leaning over to his right, up over top of the shoulder. Eberle, a quick decision. What a shot.
Chris Letang will be the first shooter for the Penguins. Letang, lots of moves, no goal.
Great job by Devin Dubnyk to stay with the tricky Letang. Back and forth, trying to make that move first. He's waiting him out. No goal for Devin Dubnyk. Just stands his ground and forces him into a tight corner and then puts that pad down for a terrific save.
Alashevsky, the second shooter for the Oilers. Everly has scored. He was the first shooter. Now it's up to Hemsky against Brent Johnson. Snapshot upstairs, scores. The Oilers are 2 for 2.
Well, pretty much the similar shot that Jordan Everly went in with, and again, just kind of faking it, waiting it. That little fake right there gets Johnson to commit, start to go down, and right at that instance, a terrific up over the glove shot by Ales Hemsky, and a great pick for Tom Ray to go back with Hemsky, healthy this year, ready to come in and have a good season, and he makes good on that one there.
Devin Dubnyk now will try and stop James Neal for the win.
He can sing it.
Neal scores. The shootout continues.
Lots of speed built up for Neal, and this guy is a shooter, no question about it. We saw him ring that one off the bar late in the game and comes down and just fires it quickly 5-hole on Devin Dubnyk.
Linus Omark has done it before. Win a hockey game in the shootout. He did it last year against Tampa Bay. What does he have in his bag of tricks here to win this game?
Perfect opportunity to end it here.
Omark, no spin this time. Omark stops, flips, oh! The YouTube move doesn't work this time.
Well, I'll tell you, it looks like he had him too. Brent Johnson had no idea where he was going with this one, and we've seen him go low with this shot and high. Great job by Johnson to take the bottom of the net away. And he almost lifts this one right over top of him in the net, but just goes a little bit too far with that one.
It is up to Dubnyk now to stop the veteran Steve Sullivan.
Steve Sullivan, another tricky player that can come in and do a lot of things, has a great wrist shot as well.
Sullivan against Dubnyk. Stopped by Dubnyk. The win to the Oilers. Tom Rennie remains perfect to start the season. He's 8-0. And the Oilers have a come-from-behind 2-1 win in the shootout.
Well, it really wasn't pretty, Kevin. I'll tell you, the Pittsburg Penguins were lulling the Edmonton Oilers to sleep. But Ryan Nugent Hopkins with his first goal ties this game. Devin Dubnyk closes the door, stopping 2 of 3 shooters in the shootout to give the Edmonton Oilers the first win of the year. So a great comeback for them. They stayed with it. They got a little more aggressive. They had great penalty killing in this game. And Devin Dubnyk closed the door. A big first win here at Rexall Ice.
Last year, he lost in overtime in October. This year, he starts October with a dramatic win in the shootout. 2-1, the final.
Telus Oilers Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Telus, the future is friendly. By Molson Canadian, made from Canada. By Ford, drive one. By the Rexall family of pharmacies. By ATB Financial, proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers. And by Synovus Energy, new ideas, new approaches.
The 3 stars are brought to you by Molson Canadian, made from Canada. The #1 star in his #1 start in a season opener. Devin Dubnyk with 33 saves this evening. Brent Johnson 1 save better, but not a goal better. He's your #2 star. And what a night it was for Ryan Nugent Hopkins. There is the byline on his first ever game in the NHL with the Edmonton Oilers. So Edmonton comes up against a perennial Stanley Cup favorite in the Pittsburg Penguins. It was the return of Ryan Smith, and we are fueled by fans. And it was the Pittsburgh fans that had a good start to the game, but it was a different finish on the part of the Oiler fans. Stay tuned. Hockey Central with Jeff Merrick on the way, and it'll be back to Rexall for post-game reaction.